So here you see the latest iteration of the triggered escapement divide by n concept. I've tried to be a bit more direct with this one, so all of the marbles are acting directly against gravity to push the triggers up. That means the trigger should come down more positively and hopefully trigger easier and also lock easier. But we'll test that in a minute. I envisage this to go in front of the conveyor, delivering 8 marbles at a time to the conveyor in a well distributed manner, which I don't think the tray feed is doing right now, but that remains to be seen once we see more marbles in the machine. Let's put some marbles in here and we'll show you how this works. So here's 8 marbles, and we'll post them gently into this funnel here. And you can see as the marbles go in, they're lifting the triggers, but then the triggers close back again behind them. And if we put them in one at a time, you can see more and more triggers are getting lifted, and when the final trigger is lifted, they all come out. So far, so good. How does it deal with a stream of marbles though? So I've loaded 46 marbles into this tube, as usual. 46 doesn't divide by 8 very nicely, and I've got 4 marbles left over, so let's just chuck those in as well. And then we'll fire this in as fast as we can and see how it reacts. How many is that left over? I've got 3 marbles left over. And then 8 again. That seemed to work fairly well. I've got 2 left over. So that was 6, I would call them fairly perfect divisions of 8. 48 marbles, 2 left over. Job's a good one, right? Except no. I'm going to tell you why. You see, what I just showed you was the normal feeding mechanism. Lots of marbles streaming in from the demagnetizer in a row. But that's not always what's happening here. Sometimes there's very little going on, or it's quiet, or the demagnetizer is a bit bunged up and it spews out some marbles a few at a time. And what can happen is that one marble is coming in quite fast and it pings another marble, and you get this sort of that effect where a marble transfers its momentum to the last marble in the queue and it shoots across, triggering everything on its route, and these triggers can't react fast enough to come down. I'll see if I can show you what I mean by feeding the marbles in using the old funnel. So the first one goes in, it gets stuck in the first one, no problem. But now they're getting pinged along, and you get this transfer of energy. And did you see that? That triggered and only dropped 6 marbles. Let's try that again. That one only dropped 7 marbles. That one dropped, well, there's actually one stuck there, but that's 6 marbles again. Okay, now that time it dropped 8 marbles, and that's because it came in as a steady stream. Again, 8 marbles when you feed it as a steady stream. When you feed it at one at a time, that was only 7. There's the problem. But is it a problem? So here's where we start with a bit of philosophy. In my mind, the purpose of this feed tray or the conveyor, or in this case the divide by 8, is to feed the conveyor with as many marbles as it can handle as possible, so we can get those marbles back to the top of the machine. Now, we also want to try and distribute them evenly, but even distribution isn't as important as getting as many marbles back up to the top as possible to enter into that recycle loop and get them into the funnels and play some music. Now, what's more important, that we divide these completely perfectly by 8, or that we get as many marbles into the conveyor as possible? I know some people will be going, well, if it's a divide by 8 and it doesn't actually divide by 8 perfectly, what's the point? But as we showed, when this is moving fast, when you ask it a lot, it delivers 8 marbles at a time, and it does it quite quickly. Is it quick enough? hopefully. I think it's quicker than the conveyor. You decide. Tell me what you think in the comments below.